What's up, peeps? It's Jeff Cavanaugh here from 105.3 The Fan HQ. I don't know what the audio is going to sound like because I'm not in the home studio. But a video was required today. We're coming out with these lists. The lists. It's the listing part of the year, by the way. I don't know if you guys realize this. It's the list part of the year because training camp hasn't started yet, so we don't have much to do. So people just make lists, which is cool. No problem with that. But a couple of things off of the lists that I just feel like I need to correct for the world because I view it as my job, is correcting bad journalism and bad opinions. It's kind of my thing. The top 10 quarterback list, top 10 running back list on ESPN. Now, this is from NFL execs. So these are from people who actually have jobs in the NFL, which is wild to me. Not everybody's qualified for their job. Let that be a lesson to you. And we'll start with, which way do I go first, running back or quarterback? Zeke was number 7, Dak was number 7. I don't have any big problems with the rankings. Not a big deal. I just have to nitpick a couple of things, like Matt Stafford being ahead of Dak Prescott, and one of the quotes about Ezekiel Elliott on the running back rankings on ESPN.com. So the quote on Ezekiel Elliott from an AFC defensive coach is they need to give Zeke some of Dak's money. He scares you the most on that offense. What? Like a real coach? That's a real coach? An actual coach? I just don't think, how is that an actual coach? So, what I want to do is a research project. What AFC defensive coach said that? I'm voting somebody from Pittsburgh. That's my vote. Because Zeke's played well against Pittsburgh, and because Pittsburgh is a team that believes that you run the ball better with your running back and not with your offensive line. So I'm going to say Pittsburgh. Other than that, I don't know what to even do with that. Stop giving quarterbacks credit to running backs. This is a demand. This is my ransom demand. Stop giving quarterback credit to running backs. Chill out, okay? I hope Zeke has an incredible year. He's still just 25 years old. Ranking him number 7 in the league, no problem with that. I don't care. If you wanted to put him lower, I'd understand. If you wanted to put him higher, okay, I understand your optimism. That's fine. Either way, I don't care about the ranking. I just care about the quote. It's a real coach. Someone employs that guy to work in the NFL. Like somebody texted into the show yesterday and they were like, Jeff, you really think you're better than fill in the blank about somebody that works in the NFL? And it's like, well, yeah. And I know that sounds cocky. There's a lot of people in the NFL that know way more about football than I ever will. There's also a lot of people in the NFL that don't know crap. It's not any different than your job. There are people who know what they're doing, and there are people who have outdated thought processes, like they need to give Zeke some of Dak's money. Okay, now, I have made a top 10 quarterback list, and I had to, because yesterday I spent about 10 minutes being really mean to Matt Stafford. I don't have a problem with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford is the upper echelon version of Sam Darnold, okay? So check this out. Sam Darnold is a dude that there are people out there that because he was drafted high still think that he's going to be really good, despite the fact that we have years of evidence in the NFL that he's been the worst quarterback in the entire league. Not one of the worst, not below average, the worst. And it's like, oh yeah, but look at his surroundings, right? If you were a good quarterback in a bad situation, you would not be the worst quarterback in football. You might be below average, where it's like, yeah, but he could really, if he just got some help. But you would not be the worst quarterback in football, not if you were good. And if you're Matt Stafford and you're great, if you're one of the 6 best quarterbacks in football, would you have had the career that Matt Stafford's had, or would you have won a playoff game at some point? Would you have had a higher QBR at some point? Would you have been, you'd have been a better player at some point? Corey Majors is out there. Video, 1053thefan.com.
Hey, everybody.
It's Corey.
Jeff, I had a question.
Yeah.
Mind if I ask you a question right now?
Come on. Yeah.
Yesterday, I was listening to the G-Bag Nation, as I typically do while I'm in my car on the way home and other things I do. And I heard you say Urban is a key to the defensive line because he's a guy who's good at not moving.
Uh-huh.
Is he an end, or is he going to be inside at all? I was curious about this a little more.
I think he's listen. Thank you, Corey. I think he's a 290-pound one-technique defensive tackle, okay? And then if you go 3-4, maybe play some nose, maybe play some end. Just a little bit of all that. Weird build for a one technique, though. Like 6'8", 290.
Yeah.
Weird build. But I think he's a nose. But I was in the middle of talking crap about Matt Stafford.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, if you didn't mind.
Have a great day.
Yeah, Matt Stafford. So you probably wouldn't have a below-average career total QBR in a 12-year sample size if you were one of the 6 best quarterbacks in football, right? You'd had a better career than that. You would have won a playoff game at some point. You had Calvin Johnson for his entire career. You had Kenny Golladay. You had the Golden Tate that was, how many times did he go to the Pro Bowl? He's a 1,300-yard receiver. Marvin Jones. Like, there's been a lot of good players in Detroit. You had a top 2 defense one year. Like, there's been a lot of different teams he was on. He hasn't always been on dog poop teams, and he's never won a playoff game. So whatever. So I'm going to properly rank the quarterbacks. Here's the proper quarterback ranking of the NFL. Let me open my notepad because that's where I typed it, okay? Tier 4 is where Matt Stafford is, okay? He's number 13, give or take. Tier 3, I categorize as dudes who either were dudes or might be becoming dudes. This is Tier 3. They're all tied for the 10th best quarterback in the league. Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield. Okay? 3-way tie there at number 10, 11, and 12. Top 9 quarterbacks in the NFL. Number 9 is Ryan Tannehill. One day we got to give him credit. One day we got to give him credit for having one of the best QBRs in football. And that day is today. He's number 9. Number 3 through 8 is a dogfight. I'm just going to give you the order I put them in, and then you can kill me in the comments. You can tweet me at JC1053 and tell me I'm an idiot. Number 8, Josh Allen. Now, last year he was one of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in football. That was 1 year, so just give it to me again, and then I'll move you up. Number 7 is Dak Prescott. Number 6 is Deshaun Watson. Number 5 is Lamar Jackson, who the ESPN executive poll had below Matt Stafford, a guy who is, the youngest MVP in league history. His team wins 11 or 12 games every year, and you're thinking that Baltimore has, this elite defense because that's what they're known for back in the day. They don't. Look it up. Lamar Jackson makes that thing go. Lamar Jackson, if you put him in Detroit for 12 years, my apologies. If you put him in Detroit for 12 years, Lamar Jackson is winning a playoff game at some point because he's a game changer. Number 4 is Russell Wilson. Number 3 is Tom Brady, which is me eating my words on Tom Brady. I called him washed for 2 years. I apologize. Number 2 is Aaron Rodgers. Number 1 is Pat Mahomes. That's your top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, Wilson, Jackson, Watson, Prescott, Allen, Tannehill, 3-way tie. Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield. Then you can talk about Matt Stafford. Don't be putting him in the top 6. What are we doing? Goodness gracious. Make sure you're checking 1053thefan.com every day. Make sure you leave in the comments at youtube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh what an idiot I am and where I screwed up in this video, because I screw up a lot. I'll catch you guys later. Oh, remember, be cool to everybody. You have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. I love you. Bye.